Hey guys, welcome. I'm Shravan, and today we're going to learn how to set up Create React App with Eth-hooks 4. We're going to start with a brand new instance of the Create React App, and we're going to keep it simple. You'll learn how to install Create React App and React in your system. We're going to do it with TypeScript. I'm going to start calling Create React App CRA going forward. We're also going to learn how to update the Yarn package manager to Yarn 3 because it's a lot faster, and install Ethers and Eth-hooks 4. Ethers is the library that we use to connect to Ethereum, and Eth-hooks 4 is the library we have from scaffold-eth and build guild that makes it super easy to connect to the Ethereum network. The first thing we're going to do is use the npx command line to install React in one of your local folders. So we're going to run this command. It's yarn create React app, this folder right here, and the template we're going to use is the TypeScript template. Let's run the command. Now it's done. As you can see, it's successful. We're gonna go into the folder. Now what we want to do is install the packages that I told you about. But before we do that, we're gonna upgrade Yarn. So we're gonna make sure that Yarn is updated. The reason is that it's a lot faster if you do this. The first thing we're gonna do is set Yarn to use the latest version. We're gonna use set Yarn version berry, which is the latest. All right, it's done. The second thing we need to do is go into configuration and make sure that Yarn is using the node modules instead of PNP. We're going to go here into the CRA Eth-hooks folder that we just created and click on the Yarn YML file and go into that. Once we're here, we're just going to paste in this line right here, node linker dash node modules. It just tells it to use the node modules folder to store all the packages, and then we're done. Run yarn install again. Everything is ready. Now we're going to set up and install all the packages that we need. We want to install Ethers, Ethers project providers, and Eth-hooks. We're just going to run yarn add Ethers, project provider, and Eth-hooks. And there, we've installed all the packages that we need. We're going to need to import and use the Ethers app context in the main app. This is so that you can access the Ethereum network and the hooks anywhere in your application. I'm going to go ahead and import the Ethers app context. And then I'm going to wrap Ethers app context around my app. And there you have it. Now you have access to the context. Now we're going to go ahead and set up a component and replace the learn React text right here. Let's make a folder called components. And we're going to make a file called main. And then we're going to make a functional component here. So we created a component called main, and we're using the FC functional component type. We want to just return a div for now. To connect to the mainnet Ethereum network, you're going to have a RPC connection. We're going to use the RPC connection kindly provided by Austin, Griffith, and scaffold-eth. What we're going to do now is create a configuration folder, and we'll create a file called app-config. And we want to import static JSON RPC provider from Ethers, which provides you a static connection to the Ethereum network. We're going to use the mainnet scaffold-eth provider from the scaffold-eth RPC. Now we have this variable that we have access to in our application. What we're going to do is we want to try to get a balance from the Ethereum network for a particular address. We're going to go ahead and use Ethereum adapter from provider assigner, and we're going to go ahead and import the mainnet scaffold-eth provider. Next, we're going to get the adapter from the scaffold-eth provider, and what the adapter is a utility function that wraps the signer, adapter, chain ID, and a few other things that need to identify that network. Next, we're going to try to get the balance from the Ethereum network for a particular address. So we're going to import useBalance and then call the useBalance hook. To use the useBalance hook with the update option and mainnet provider, we're not going to be using the Ethers context just yet. We're going to directly use the mainnet scaffold-eth provider just to show as an example. And later in another video, we'll be using the Ethers context. We're going to have to pass in an address, the default update options right here. We're going to tell it that we're going to pass in an adapter. An adapter is enabled and we are passing in this particular adapter for the mainnet scaffold-eth. As I mentioned before, this is just for this particular example. We're not using the context and we're directly passing in the provider. What the hook is doing now is passing in the address, telling it that we want to use the default update options and we want to pass in our own adapter. We don't want to use the one that's part of the Ethers app context, and we're passing in the mainnet adapter. We're going to convert the balance to Ether, and then we're going to show that balance in our app. We're going to go back to the app.tsx file to make sure that we're showing what we want to see. We will get rid of all of this junk. Now that we've done everything we needed to do, we're going to start the application. And then there you have it. You have Create React App that shows you the balance of account on mainnet. That's it for the video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching it until the end. In the next video, we're probably going to go through how to use Ether's context and the Ethereum provider given to you by the Ether's context.